Every town has one. And while the one here could apply to a post office or grocery store or gas station, tonight we're talking about a different one, specifically a weather event that has left behind both mental and physical scars and a fury that has never been matched since. And for quite a few communities in eastern Pennsylvania, that weather event was a deadly and destructive flood, courtesy of a damaging duo of tropical cyclones in August 1955, bearing the names Connie and Diane.
Because, when you're in a terrain, which is, steep and wooded, it just all flows downhill. And that's really kind of what happened. It was mainly the Pocono region, and then kind of downstream in the Delaware, it went down to east, and it got pretty hard hit. It really, after about Trenton, the river gets very much wider, and it also becomes a tidal river at that point, and that really helps spread out all that water.
While Diane often gets credited with the flood, the stage was actually set by Connie several days earlier, as the remnants of a once Category 4 hurricane dropped 6 to 12 inches of rain over much of eastern Pennsylvania on August 13, 1955, saturating soils and causing some river rises. On August 18th, Diane practically passed directly over Philadelphia as a weakening tropical storm, with a widespread swath of 4 to 12 additional inches of rain falling on the north side of the circulation. In between the Pocono Plateau and Trenton, it left roughly 75 miles of real estate for a wall of floodwater to cause chaos in the Delaware River Basin. The Delaware River crested 11 feet above flood stage at New Hope, 16 feet above flood stage in the Delaware Water Gap, and an incredible 22 feet above flood stage at Easton, all records that still stand today. The same is true a short distance west along the Lehigh River, which eventually feeds into the Delaware. Similar water rises were observed there and have not been matched since.
Just below Laurie Station, and this is the Lehigh River. This is River Road. And in the flood of 1955, the water level actually got up this high, 15, 20 feet, and flooded this road. There was a dam just above here, which went across the river. It was actually called initially Slate Dam, built on bedrock in the river, and it was built by the Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company. And they put locks in just behind me up here where the dam was, and they actually built a dam so that their workers could get across to the store in Laurie's. There was a flood, I think about 1940, that actually opened up a hole in the dam, and the dam was subsequently repaired. The hole was repaired in 1955 when we had Hurricane Diane. The hole reopened, and it was never repaired.
Once the floodwaters broke the dam open, the wall of water got even taller as it moved downstream, setting its sights on the small town of Northampton.
This is Northampton Borough, and this is Canal Street running along the side in the Newport section of Northampton. The floodwaters here probably would have been at least 30 feet. Actually rose up and covered like a block or two into the houses up on the Newport section. A lot of people had to relocate, abandon the houses. So it was devastating down here. It was definitely more destructive than it was 2 miles upstream at Laurie's. The river was high enough that the bridge crossing into Cementon, which is behind us a little ways, the bridge had to be shut down. The rise in the river was impacting the bridge. As a matter of fact, the bridge being shut down, a friend of mine who is a local historian and a former history teacher, his wife grew up in this Newport section, and the water actually reached their first floor in the house where she lived when she was a little girl, and they decided to get in the car and relocate to a friend's house over in Orfield. And their car was actually the last car to go across the bridge.
Despite the devastation, coverage of the Diane flood has become much more widespread in recent decades and was very limited at the time that it actually occurred.
In 1955, we were 10 years out of World War II. People weren't looking for excitement anymore. They just wanted to get back to regular life. And they really, even when this happened and as big as it was, it really never got the coverage it deserved because people just wanted it to go away.
Even though people wanted it to go away, and the region has not dealt with an equally ferocious flood since, the memories remain etched into the minds of longtime residents, and they quickly rise to the surface anytime the talk of tropical remnants enters the forecast.
For years and years, it was talked about, and a lot of people reminisced about that even more so in 1972 when Hurricane Agnes came through, another devastating flood, and it just kind of brought back memories of years past. So yeah, people never forgot. Anybody that was around back then never forgot.
Reporting from Northampton in Northampton County, I'm Ben Reppert for Weather World.